the company to Todd and Brad, the current owners, and they had run companies previously together and raced cycling in the past together. And they came together about Bicycle Ventures and have done quite a bit of expansion since that time. We're very heavily represented in the Northwest of the United States, the western half of the U.S. really. I think we probably have tours in every state. We're also in British Columbia. We've been in Hawaii for quite some time now.
Nice.
And have a year-round operation there. Well, we operate half the year, but we have a nice satellite office there. And we also have lots of international spots, including Mexico and Colombia and Chile and Scotland, Spain, Basque Country, Slovenia, Taiwan, New Zealand, and a couple other ones coming on the calendar soon. But that's
Nothing in
I don't know if I
Panama?
listed all of them. Nothing in Panama at the moment. But we've got a couple countries down there that are getting a little bit of attention from us. Just to the south, Colombia, just to the north, Mexico, and then with an addition of another tour operator that we've brought under the same ownership group, which I'm jumping forward a little bit, but we also have offerings now in Costa Rica and Guatemala,
Nice.
and Peru.
Nice.
So we're around Panama, north and south, Chile. I don't know if I mentioned that. So Bicycle Ventures is doing really well. It's mostly road bike centric. About 4 years ago, started developing some mountain bike programming. And about 3 years ago, we started a new company called Seattle Mountain Bike Tours. Seattle Mountain Bike Tours is the same operational staff, the same office, same staff. I mean, it's the same structure, but the product is different, and it's based on day tours out of the Seattle region, since that's where our offices are located. And we really have something special happening in the Northwest as a mountain biker who's had the opportunity to ride all over the place. I feel like we've got a very special place that is not on everybody's bucket list, and I think we're working pretty hard to change that. And then we have a third company that came under the umbrella about a year and a half ago. We recognized quite a special company. They're really the leaders in what they were doing, as is called Evergreen Escapes. And this is a day hiking tour operator. There was an awful lot that we could learn and share resources. They're also based out of Seattle, but had some stuff down that we could learn from, and vice versa. And so they came on about a year and a half ago under the same ownership. And then just this spring, there's a tour operator that we've been looking to and referencing for as long as we've been looking at a mountain bike program called Sacred Rides. They've been titled as the #1 mountain bike tour operator in the world by Outside Magazine and by National Geographic. And they've been on the front of my radar for quite a long time. And we decided to see if we could bring them under our wings, so we could, instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, we could just use the expertise and just like directly work with the leaders in the field. And so we've done that for a couple of companies now. We've got this really interesting collection of 4 companies that we now can share ideas. We talk about guide concepts. We talk about like what like insurance or other efficiencies operationally that we can do together. And so that's kind of the story. It's been a pretty fast-moving last couple of years with the onboarding of each of the different divisions, but we're in a pretty unique spot. And my position within this cluster of 4 companies is that the mountain bike program development for the 3 companies that are focused on cycling. So that's that's my version of our 4 companies. You probably get a couple different versions depending on who you ask, but most of those are pretty accurate.
That's good though. I've done some hiking since I've been here in Panama. I had never done it prior to, and it's beautiful hiking country. So maybe we don't get the bikes, but maybe we can get the hiking piece of your operation in the Panama area. That would be fantastic.
We're always looking at markets. We're looking at places that really offer something unique. We like to come out with innovative product, which in travel sometimes that means off the beaten path, or something that like a place that really stands out, or maybe there's a cultural experience that we really need to engage with, and we feel compelled to sell this to our customers. And so, so Panama is definitely something that's of interest. I was just down in the region recently, and it was everything's been on my mind from Central America.
Yeah, that's cool.
So let's take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll talk about the trends that you're seeing in your side of the business. This is Karen Duncan, your Bucket List Buster. I'll be back in about 30 seconds. You're listening to Your Bucket List Buster with Karen Duncan. Subscribe to Your Bucket List Buster on Spreaker.com or iTunes or Spotify so you don't miss any of the travel news and travel trends for the week, destination highlights, exciting guest speakers that include professionals from the travel industry and guests who have traveled the world. Plus, are you considering becoming an expat, moving internationally? Then this is the podcast for you. Subscribe today so you don't miss an episode. Your Bucket List Buster, here to help you start living your dreams. This is Karen Duncan, your Bucket List Buster, and we are back with Matt Paul of Bicycle Adventures, talking about trends in the business. So, Matt.
So the trends, obviously, in your world are the mountain biking and the hiking, correct?
So trends as far as adventure tourism, or as specifically with cycling tourism?
Yeah, with cycling tourism.
There's definitely a mountain bike heavy trend. This whole cycling industry has been making a lot of gains in the mountain bike world. It took a while for the global market to embrace mountain bikes. There's a lot of technology that had to be built, a lot of R&D that happened at everyone's factories, and there's a thing that's happened over the last 10 years where a lot of these hardworking advocacy groups have had trail access. A lot of the mountain bike manufacturers now have bikes that function well, and the tourism market is now ready to go. It's not just a collection of do-it-yourselfers that are trying to figure out how to ride a mountain bike. Now there's enough people that have had enough time riding bikes that are like, you know what, I want to do this everywhere. And so in general, mountain biking is a pretty big trend. There's a pretty big focus on, I think, across the adventure tourism, like experiential-based tourism, environmentally aware travel, ecotourism, small group, volunteering holidays. Like there's, I think, like an establishment for a lot more of an experience mindset as opposed to just
land on the beach
with the beach with the Mai Tai, which is totally fine.
Yeah,
it's just, but we're seeing a trend that's people are wanting to engage in whatever angle they're looking at.
Yep, and experience the destination through all different types of angles, but actually having felt like you've been there and you were a part of it, as opposed to just observing it from a distance.
It's and that's the thing that I think that we, whether it's on the road bike side or the mountain bike side, and whatever level, we really feel passionate about the tourism centered around cycling, because it feels like the best way to learn a place. Like this vehicle is like, it's fun. you can cover some ground, but it's not so fast. And so you can really, like, you can pull over anywhere you want. You can bring it inside your hotel room. So it's just this vehicle that like offers a really an amazing way to know a city or a region or a state. I mean, it really depends on the scope of the tours. And we have stuff that crosses like enormous distances, and we have lots of tours that are centric to just a small village. And I don't know, in cyclists, I'm sure you've met a few, or they can be pretty passionate about their ride. So
yeah, I moved here from Austin, Texas, so you know that cycling was huge in that area. Yeah. Definitely. So who are your typical clients?
Typical clients, it's all over the place, and it's a little bit different depending on which of these companies that in our group that you talk to. Something that's pretty common with the multi-day vacations with like Sacred Rides and with Bicycle Adventures. There's gonna be a lot of people that have already established themselves in the workforce. You got a lot of people that maybe their kids recently went away to college. People that have already spent a little bit of time doing a lot of do-it-yourself style tourism and realize that I think they're at a place in their life where it's okay to let other people take care of some of the logistics and the details so they can get straight to the vacation part of travel, where they get to ride bikes and eat food and meet new communities and so that's exactly what we do. Just take care of like those details behind. So we get a lot of people that are 35 all the way through 75 or even older in some. I mean, because cyclists have a really long, healthy physical life. Like we say around here quite often, like cyclists never die. There's people that ride way late in their life that are still very capable, very strong. I've definitely taken people mountain biking that have a couple, quite a few decades on me.
Wow.
And it's super impressive and admiring to watch riders that have been doing this for a long time, like still going after it and still have the same love getting on the bikes.
So is that something, is cycling something you can start late in life and continue on, or do you have to have been riding already?
Oh, no. There are so many people that are just starting, and this is actually cycling in general. People can start anytime. So one of my favorite guests to talk about, and I won't say her name on air, but I've had a pleasure of doing a handful of tours with her. She started cycling when she started doing athletic activity when she was 50, and she found a hook on biking. She is now, I super hope that I'm not wrong, but I want to say she's almost 80.
Wow.
And I did a tour last year around Hawaii with her, around Big Island. She still teaches skiing. She's won 10 Hawaii Ironman for age divisions. She's one of the few people to have that many in a lifetime. And she didn't even start with athletics at all until she was 50. And
that's amazing.
Yeah, she's an inspiration, and we have people that want to give mountain biking a shot. And this is a pretty cool time for mountain biking. There's a lot of great resources now, whether through instructional curriculum that is making sense because people have been developing riding technique now for a couple of decades. The equipment is ready. The difference now between bikes now and bikes 10 years ago or 20 years ago is that if you had a mountain bike 20 years ago, you also had to be a mechanic because it was barely going to function. And now you can't buy a bad bike. I mean, they're just the level of quality of almost like anything coming out of the shop. It means that you're going to have a bike that works really well, but not just that. There's great traction, there's great brakes, there's great suspension, great tire design, And what all that means is that you have a lot of the safety stuff is just sorted out for you.